55% of companies will never hire more than 4 employees. There are thousands of these small companies in America, and they don't have an easy path. They struggle too. They are not your average companies. They are the 1004. This is the 1004 Show.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today for the 1004 Show. Today we are delighted to have Kenya Williams of iShine for You Auto Detailing. Kenya, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, Zach?
It's going very well. Thanks for being with us today. So you are a father, an engineer, and a detailer, and an entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about how you got your start in business.
My start in business came about actually when I actually became a father, a second father at the time. My baby girl was about to be born in June of 2013. I ended up, I had an ATV, and it was in the back of my house, and I just wanted to joyride, but I was like, man, this thing is not making any money. And I knew my days at the shipyard where I was working was limited because I felt like that wasn't my true passion. So I started doing some research and looking into what I was good at, and I started thinking and talking to people. I was like, man, what do I do with the least amount of effort? Then the idea came like, hey man, you clean cars like it ain't nothing. From an old beat around car to a nice luxury car. I was like, wow. I said, yeah, I do it. I mean, I just treat every day like it's a normal day out in the yard. So my day came when I actually, like I said, I had the ATV. I sold that.
How much did you sell it for?
I sold it for $900.
Okay.
And then in turn, I ended up getting a used 2001 Dodge Caravan for $1,300. Yeah, $1,300. And from there, my detailing began.
Now, did you buy that because of your daughter, or did you buy that because that was going to be the van that you could go around?
That was going to be the van I go around.
Yeah, because most men don't want to drive vans, right? So you had to find. No, I'm kidding. All right,
so I bought a detailing van.
Got it. Cool.
So the detailing van, like I said, I bought that. I took all the seats out of it. I ended up buying all my equipment. And my first customer was actually one of my coworkers. I found that out through one of my notebooks I just found actually.
So how much other equipment did you need to buy? So right now I see you at minus 400 in startup expenses. And
I went shopping on Craigslist. I shopped for a water tank. I bought a water tank from a guy who owned a boat. He used that water tank, which is a 100-gallon tank. He used that tank for drinking water. So I bought that from him for $100. I did have to go buy a generator and a power washer.
And how much were those about?
The generator was about $300. I caught that on sale. The pressure washer was about $200. And then I bought my equipment, which ranged about, at the time, about $300. About $30, $40 for in
so
supply.
cleaning equipment?
Cleaning supplies. Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at a startup cost around a little under $2,000 to get going. You sold your ATV that was just sitting in the backyard, basically not accumulating any money, and so you needed to invest $1,100 back into it. How much did you get your first client for?
My first client was $150.
$150. So you were making, you basically broke even pretty quickly if you got 9 more of those deals. And so you auto detail cars. Now this isn't going through your typical Auto Bell or your local gas station mobile. This is really solid niche detailing. When you were talking to these people back in 2013, did they understand that you were going to be in to the super detailing, or were they thinking that you might have been kind of on the lower end? How did you gauge kind of knowing that you could do a very specific skill and that people could pay a premium price for something like that?
It was done by research, but also word of mouth, because like I said, my first customer was my former coworker, and he lives, probably about 15, 20 miles to a actual car wash. and he's very busy where he don't have the time to wash it on himself. So that kind of gave me an idea. If he's like this, there's plenty of others out there as well. So me gauging that idea, then I started doing research, and I started just riding around, and I even started pulling up on people. Hey, you need your car washed, and at the time, that's when really, actually, mobile detailing was really coming big.
So what was that? So what was that like? So you're like a 6'6", pretty stocky black guy coming up to someone, and I can imagine people being terrified of that. But you turn this, maybe scary territorial situation into a business.
Yeah, I was bold. I did knock on one guy's door. I was like, "Hey man, I see you got these nice luxury cars, man. They need some TLC." And I was like, "If I don't do a good job, man, you don't got to pay me for it." So he was like, "All right, well, go ahead." And actually, the cars was actually a Mercedes-Benz S550 AMG, and it was a white Corvette.
So you cold walked up to folks.
I knocked on this guy's door.
Knocked on their door.
Huh?
I mean, people are terrified of cold calling. You straight up knocked on their door. I remember, back when I started my first business as a kid, 10 or so, I would go around in my neighborhood, and I had a lawnmower. And I took the $100 to my grandma, and I lived in a very blue-collar, I was part of a very blue-collar company or family, and I could only get so much money. And I wanted more, and at the age of 10, you want video games and you want candy. And so I knock on people's doors. I just kind of like you saying with the cars, I would look at their lawns and they needed manicured. And so I'd say, hey, can I mow your lawn for $10, $15? And then I continue to do that, and then they ask for more work. And so it's very similar. All right, so June 2013, your baby is born. Is that what you said?
Yep, June 2013.
And so you turned a kind of idle ATV in your backyard at $900 and bought a used 2001 Dodge Caravan for $1,300 and then a handful of equipment for about $800 or $900 to get your first customer. How did the second customer come around? Was it that person that you knocked on the door, or
no? Actually, that was my pastor.
Okay.
It was my pastor. Then I ended up finding one of my cousin's friends who's works at a hair salon.
Okay.
And that was very popular too for mobile detailers to sit outside of hair salon and wash cars. And then from there, it just started rolling even more.
So you're still doing this, and you're working at the shipyard, right?
Correct.
So you live in southeastern Virginia, where a lot of ships are being built for the military. You did that for several years. How did you gauge? Well, number one is, how did you work at that career and be an entrepreneur at the same time? And then as you started doing that, how did you recognize that it was time to get out and that you were still going to be able to support your family?
It was actually I was working for probably about 7:30 to 3 or 6 to 2:30 on most days, and what I'll do is I'll get off, wait till someone else get off. It's about 5, and especially in the summertime, daylight is even longer, so yeah. I had time to go probably knock out about 2 cars, if I'm just doing a simple wash. And on weekends, actually on Saturdays, I was always wide open. And Sundays, I didn't typically try to do nothing because I try to adhere to my religion on Sundays. But I just kept that pace like on a weekly basis to pretty much to gain my customers and also to find new customers.
Right.
I kind of did word of mouth. But the pivotal point came when, I was, like I said, I've been at the shipyard for 8 years. And I felt like, I wasn't growing. And, at the time, like I said, you hear all the rumors of the shipyards laying off. And I was like, hey, this is not me. And
so you saw it coming?
I saw it coming. And I said, well, I started researching like, hey, I can make just as amount of money in detailing as I can at my current job. Mm-hmm. And what made me do that was when I actually tore my rotator cuff, which was the summer of 2015. I had time to really think. That was also a time that I met you in November of that year when I was out hurt. Mm-hmm. And from there, when I met you, there was a couple things that, a couple nuggets that you set in stone, sky's the limit pretty much. And I also I lost a cousin at that same year,
That's right.
who was the same age as me, and I said, man, if I don't try this, I don't think I lived my life to the most amount of on a purpose. I didn't live my life to the amount of purpose. So I felt like I wanted to live my life for a purpose, and I felt like my talent was not being used where I was working, and I felt like I need to go out and use it in my own business and on myself.
It's crazy to hear the story of how you've done this. Are you a workaholic?
I am. I'm some days no sleep, limited sleep, but I'm a workaholic. I have the education, I have the brains, but the hustle mindset came, when I was younger.
You have an MBA, right, from the University of Phoenix?
Yeah, I have an MBA.
How valuable was that to your entrepreneurial careers? Because you hear stories where MBAs don't really help you start or grow a business. They're really more for a management position. Was it helpful?
I think it was helpful in some ways. Some ways as in, a budget. Some ways as in planning. Some ways as in, taking a gauge of somewhat of the accounting aspect of it. Some of us don't take a look at that. But it so happens that I have a soon-to-be CPA who I'm living with my wife. So that helped a lot, too. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
If you can't hire him, marry him, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to a certain situation where I'm going to ask this question. So you also go to the gym how many days a week?
I try to go 5 days, but I only probably make it 3.
Okay. And so do you know when you're going to your gym every day?
I do not. I just try to change my routine because I found in the mornings I'm able to get a nice workout in versus in the afternoons. Anything can pop up. I have to go get my daughter, or I have to go attend somebody's gathering or what have you. So mornings are my time. I really said, I get in and get on every machine that I could.
So your daily schedule changes every day depending on your clients. There are some consistencies with I have to pick up my daughter or take her to preschool every day, and that's about the only consistency that you have?
Yes, because right now she's out from holiday break, and also my wife just got a job in the area, so which helps tremendously. Now I feel like my schedule probably will be gym in the morning and work at 8. So
one thing that I found, as a former athlete myself, I know it doesn't look like it anymore, but when I go to the gym now, I found a hole in my day around 3 o'clock where I wasn't being very productive. So I said, you know what, let's take that non-productive piece and start working out then. So I try and go at 3 o'clock. I found that when I went in the morning, I wasn't up yet, or I wasn't going to get, the gains that I wanted or something like that.
Right.
But it's like it was forcing it, and so instead going after I'd been up and moving around, I kind of loosened up. It was a better opportunity for me to go then. So maybe that's a good bit of advice for you there too.
Yeah.
How do you handle your work-life balance?
It's a lot better because now I have help with my mother-in-law, and all my wife's family members are close to us. So if it's the day that I'm busy or here in the shop, they can go pick up my daughter. My wife and I, we try to implement a date night one day out of the week because we're pretty busy. She's studying for her accounting classes while I'm trying to grow and build the business, and then we have the little one who needs some attention. So we balance it out because I feel now I'm more flexible.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
How old is she?
My wife is 30.
30. Okay. So you guys are still in the prime of your life. So a date night every week, or trying to schedule a date night every week, is something that keeps the work-life balance there and the family together when you need it to be. I know you're on Snapchat a lot. You get your daughter a donut almost every day. Then you're showing off the guns, right? How has social media helped you grow?
It helped me grow because a lot of people didn't realize the value of cleaning the car. They just thought your typical car wash. They just thought, hey, if I go get it washed real good, it is clean. But technically, it's not clean. It's clean to a certain extent, and me showing the good before and after pictures have really helped in questions like, wow, I didn't never realize this. Even down to cleaning the vents. Some people have a lot of allergies or have are allergic to certain things and wonder why they keep getting sick or have certain smells in their car. But a lot of it comes from your car is not being properly cleaned.
I've been following your Snapchat for probably 6 months now, and it's amazing to see the before, not just how clean the before and afters are, right? I think that's a given with what you do, that as you continue to get clients that you're going to have to show good before and after. But it amazes me sometimes of how bad the befores are, right? Whether it's mold or someone who recently I saw just had a bunch of powder on there, and I thought that was I was looking at that as this was some sort of cleaning substance that you were putting on it, but no, it was just they had powder on there. Then some people had makeup. And I think, as you said, educating people that what they're getting at an Auto Bell or what they're getting at their normal gas station drive-through, it's only getting so much done, and that as you're breathing and educating them that, hey, if you do this twice a year and spend a couple $100s, your health is going to be better, your car is going to look better, the longevity of that is going to have a stronger worth, and I think that's strong. You have a very strong following of friends and family on your social media. How has that helped you not only stay positive but grow new business throughout your career as an entrepreneur?
It helped me because they motivate me. I hate to say it, a lot of my social media is not even my customers. They're starting to become customers because they're starting to see the things that I'm doing as far as cleaning vehicles. But like I said, I'm in Williamsburg, where this is a retirement community, but a lot of my customers have been, retired or they own businesses here. But since I've started to show more pictures and show more, like I said, get down to details of detailing cars, now everyone wants to come.
So you just said something that I would think is a red flag. Most people on social media that I'm putting a good amount of time on are not my customers. So why are you wasting your time there if it's not going to be good for you?
Because I would like for them to come. Because I'm always getting questioned, how's things going? You just left, a job, good paying job. Well, I'm showing them how well I'm doing.
What's a good paying job?
To them, $80,000 a year was a good paying job.
Okay. I mean, that living in southeastern Virginia is significantly above the median income.
Right.
And for you to take that big of a stab into this, I mean, that's a significant amount of coin. So
Right.
Is there a strategy for you to turn them into customers?
It is. And that's why I showed the before, the after, the level details and things I've done, like I've been showing here lately, like I've been asking the question, who's next? Because who's next is, everyone's been questioning, like, wow, what are you doing? Like, you just left, like I said, a good paying job, and then you're doing this, and not every day is guaranteed for a check.
So as a wrestling fan, you know that I am. Goldberg's line is "Who's next?" Did you ask him for permission to use that line?
I did not.
You should call him and ask him if it's okay.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I don't want to get sued.
No. I'm sure who's next is, well, you never know. Anyway,
Right.
So from 2013, you realized that your daughter was about to be born. There was things that you wanted to get done, and make sure that you could give them a life that would be substantial. You took an ATV in the backyard, made $900 off of it, and then turned that into a business that was able to basically give you the same amount of money for that you would at a shipyard, which is a good paying job. iShine for you, autodetailing.com is the company. Kenya Williams. If there was one piece of advice that you could give someone on getting through when you hate your job to then make sure that you can take that next step in your entrepreneurial career, what would it be?
Don't go for your dreams. Don't put a paycheck or a job situation or any obstacles that's going to be a hindrance, because you have your dreams and goals, you have the passion for something. You're only going to reap the reward if you go for it.
I love that. I love that. Kenya, thank you so much for being with us today. iShine for You, autodetailing.com in Williamsburg, Virginia. If people want to get in contact with you, they just go to the website, iShine for You, autodetailing.com. We'll leave that in the show notes as well. Kenya, thank you so much for being here, and keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
All right.
Business used to be tough, then we stepped in. Sleepless nights, depleted bank accounts, way too much on credit cards, plus working 24/7. All for what? Bankruptcy? Heck no. Get the exact process you need to change everything. When do I ask for the sale? Post to social media or cold call? Let's face it, business isn't for the faint at heart. Good thing that's not you. No matter what level you are in business, from the first dollar to the next million, your time and money is valuable. Knowing what to do will save you both. This platform includes 3 weeks from starting to making money course, raising money for dummies, scheduler, a calendar to schedule all of your existing content. Oh yeah, plus access to hundreds of expert workshops, business templates like legal, executive summaries, all editable. On-demand access in the car, on your laptop, or next to your partner while watching Shark Tank. Growing your business couldn't be easier. Nate just used 1004 to raise almost $64,000 on Kickstarter. Without 1004, he says, he would have not raised a penny. For more information, head over to 1004.com. That's 1000four.com.